Members of the public attended a town hall meeting at Maria's by the Sea Hotel in Road Town on Thursday, August 22nd to discuss an environmental impact assessment report on the cruise pier development project. Environmental impact assessments are required by law under the Physical Planning Act 2004. Sean Rose has more on what transpired at the meeting.
The Environmental Impact Assessment began in April 2012 and conducted by Environmental Systems BVI looked at possible impacts associated with the lengthening and widening of the cruise pier, proposed dredging and land reclamation in Road Harbor, and construction of a visitors center. Executive Director at Environmental Systems, Dr. Cassandra Titley O'Neill, pointed to reduced cruise visitor arrivals to the BVI and the demand for deeper harbors and longer and wider piers to accommodate the larger cruise ships being built in the cruise industry.
Where the doors now facilitate these ships coming in, some of the doors will actually be on the gangway, which is unsafe and in violation of different laws and regulations in terms of cruise ship safety for passengers. So the pier itself has to be lengthened so that these emergency doors, they are actually on the pier itself. And the pier also needs to be widened because if those two ships come in now, what will end up happening is the two ships will end up touching. And then we also looked at the installation of a concrete mattress close to the shore. This was basically to keep turbidity. Basically, when the ships turn on their propellers, the force from those propellers, it actually disturbs the soft sediment, and we wanted to keep that to a minimum.
Among the findings coming out of the EIA report, it was revealed that Road Harbor is a transitional area for commercial fishes such as the parrotfish and yellowtail tuna, along with conch and the spiny lobster.
We were told that there was a dead reef in Road Harbor, right where they were going to do the turning basin. After diving the area, and I'll show you some pictures, you realize that the area was not dead, but very pretty much alive. It seems to be a transitional area for a lot of the commercial fishes like parrotfish and yellowtail. They also had two of the most highly commercial species in the Caribbean, which would be the queen conch and the spiny lobster.
The report also revealed high levels of pollutants entering the harbor from various guts and pipes and other sources, which have implications for the water quality in the Road Harbor area.
In terms of the environmental chemistry, we took water samples from all of these locations, 12 locations on different sampling dates for over a period of 3 months to get an idea of what kind of water quality we're talking about, if the project would have any impacts in terms of affecting the water quality. These levels are abnormally high and they exceed conservation standards. And when we look at where a lot of the samples were actually taken from, they were taken close to guts or places that had pipes, that had effluent of unknown sources and unknown contents coming out of them. So this really has nothing to do with the pier project itself, but problems that are actually happening on the island outside of that.
Close to 5 acres of land are to be reclaimed in the area just off Crafts Alive and the Government Administration Complex. Dr. Titley O'Neill explained that this new design also took into consideration the need to provide a buffer zone to reduce the impact of ocean currents in that area.
They took the area that is being proposed by BVI Ports Authority and they ran it through the modeling scenario again. And we noticed even though the waves are full force within this area, they're coming in this way and they're coming off this way. So it will help to buffer the Crafts Alive, the parking lot in front of it, as well as the government admin complex. This is the new proposed turning basin. You notice the turning basin was moved further back and therefore it declined the amount of dredge material that needed to be dredged from the area. So from 139,000 cubic yards, it came down to 112,000 cubic yards. So the area that would be reclaimed would create land of about 4 to 4.5 acres of land.
As it relates to the socio-economic impacts of the cruise pier expansion, inadequate healthcare, green spaces, and limited pedestrian pathways were identified as areas of concern to accommodate increased visitors to the territory.
Do you agree that the cruise ship pier in Road Town should be expanded? And 57% of the population said yes. Do you feel the level and quality of service is adequate to address the needs of the visitors once here? And this is where the residents of this territory indicated no. When it comes to the social impacts, most people agree that there's a lack of green and open space in terms for residents to actually go ahead and have, whether they want to fly a kite, have a picnic or whatever. And these are a lot of the issues that were raised in the EIA. The lack of sidewalks, the shortage of public restrooms, whether in Road Harbor or at the excursion sites, overcrowding of popular sites such as the Bats and Kingadden Bay.
Speaking on February 13 at a community meeting held at the East End Longlook Community Center, Deputy Premier and the Minister for Natural Resources and Labor, Dr. Kedrick Pickering, said the group chosen by government to carry out the landside development of the cruise pier project, Tortola Pier Park Group, offered to help develop beaches in the territory. Dr. Pickering listed Brandywine Bay Beach as one of 3 possible sites and added that the Tortola Pier Park Group also offered to assist government with beautification and infrastructural development in the Road Town area. Work on the cruise pier development project was expected to commence in this month, pending approval by the UK government as part of the new arrangements under the protocols for financial management. Sean Rose, JTV News.